What's up, Magic players? It's Doyle, your host here on DoylePrimeMTG, where I bring you the latest and greatest in Magic content that I can while still trying to have a life. This week, I bring you a mysterious commander that can only be found in set boosters and collector's boosters of the upcoming Midnight Hunt. This long sought after archetype, Curses, is finally supported through Lynde, Cheerful Tormentor.
Forests, islands, mountains, plains, and swamps. The multiverse is all that is, or ever was, or ever will be. There is a tingling in the spine, a faint sensation, as if a distant memory, of walking from plane to plane. Our lives have been forever changed, as if by magic. Embark with me on this journey to eternity. Experience the true power of mind over matter as we ignite your spark and traverse into the magic multiverse.
Lynde Cheerful Tormentor costs 1 blue, black, red for a 2/4 human warlock with Death Touch that has 2 major triggered abilities. Whenever a curse is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, return it to the battlefield attached to you at the beginning of the next end step. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you may attach a curse attached to you to one of your opponents. If you do, draw 2 cards. This allows us to reuse our curses, shuffle them around on the board, and even generate a surprising amount of card advantage through these curse interactions. Being in Grixis colors, our ramp package will consist of a box of rocks. Soul Ring, Felwar Stone, and Arcane Signet can really provide a large mana boon to these 3-color commander decks. We will also want to use one of each of our signets, with Dimir, Izzet, and Rakdos signets. Talismans can also be quite useful, letting us trade a life point to add some color to the mana that they produce. We will be using the talismans of Creativity, Dominance, and Indulgence. Finally, we will round out our ramp with Myriad Landscape, using only a land slot to ramp us up. Drawing cards will be easy with Lynde, but we will want to make sure that we don't put all of our eggs in her devilish basket. We can trigger Lynde's ability while drawing a couple cards with Perilous Research, sacrificing a curse for Lynde to reassign at our next upkeep. Notion Thief can help us turn our opponent's value engines into our own, as we draw cards instead of them. Phyrexian Arena and Rhystic Study will always be quite fruitful enchantments for the commander format. When we want to move permanents en masse, we can sacrifice them to God Eternal Bantu or Infernal Tribute, drawing a card for each sacrificed. For each curse that we sacrifice, Lynde can bring them right back into play and shifts them around. We can also double up on Lynde's trigger. Paradox Haze and Sphinx of the Second Sun will each give us an extra upkeep for Lynde to shift another curse across the table. We could even copy Lynde's ability with Lithoform Engine and Strionic Resonator. They have tap abilities that can copy a triggered ability. Curse of Vengeance has the capability to draw us a large amount of cards when a player dies, the longer that it enchants that player. Curse of Verbosity will let us draw a card when the enchanted player is attacked. Curse of Obsession and Curse of Surveillance can each draw us multiple cards. The Curse of Obsession can be sacrificed and brought back to us with Lynde, letting ourselves draw 2 cards at our upkeep, and passing it with Lynde to another player, drawing 2 more cards, while that player has to discard their hand at their end step. We can repeat this with just a sacrifice outlet. The Curse of Surveillance can afford us some love from our enemies, as we cause all but the leading player to draw cards each turn. Curse of Unbinding will get us free value off the enchanted player at each upkeep, even if that player is us. Controlling our board is crucial to making this deck function. Claws of Gix and Crack the Earth will each let us sacrifice our curses for an additional effect, while Lynde can bring them right back. Tavern Scoundrel, Slaughter Priest of Mogus, and Baron Master Wizard will allow us to sacrifice any kind of permanent as a cost, giving us control of when our curses enter our graveyard. Propaganda, Crawl Space, Dissipation Field, and Kazul, Tyrant of Cliffs will each keep our opponents from attacking us with wide forces. Maze of Ith and Labyrinths of Scophos will each stop an attacking creature from attacking us. Copy Enchantment, Mirror Maid, and Estrid's Invocation can each allow us to copy one of our curse cards as they enter the battlefield. Curse of Misfortunes and Dream Shaper Shaman will assist us in getting our curses out onto the battlefield from our library. The curse can even stay attached to us, stacking the trigger on top of Lynde's to find a curse and immediately give it to an opponent. The Shaman allows us to sacrifice a non-land permanent to find the next one out of our library. Since our curses will be forcing our opponents to discard and sacrifice things, we will also include Tergrid, God of Fright, so that we may snag some of that value. Worst case, we can use the Lantern for some added attrition. Protean Thaumaturge is a cheap clone that allows us to change its identity each time an enchantment enters play under our control. Puka's Mischief will allow us to swap control of our enchantments with non-land permanents that our opponents control. Since they enchant a player, this won't really affect how they operate, and since Lynde triggers when they enter our graveyard, we won't have much difficulty getting them back under our control anyway. Dispersing Orb will not only allow us to sacrifice our curses, but it will also help us to bounce our opponent's permanents to their hand. Curse of Echoes will get us a copy of each instant and sorcery spell cast by its victim. And Doomwake Giant can sweep our opponent's battlefields by -1/-1 each time that an enchantment enters our battlefield. Of course, to close out the game, it will be a battle of attrition. Curses galore will whittle down our opponent's life totals and resources while our engine stays strong. Curse of Opulence, Curse of the Nightly Hunt, and Curse of Stalked Prey will help to encourage our opponents to attack each other. Curse of Shaken Faith, Trespasser's Curse, and Maddening Hex will each slug down our opposing life totals. Curse of Leeches and Accursed Witch can each transform back and forth between a creature and a curse. Curse of Disturbance, Curse of Shallow Graves, and Curse of the Restless Dead will each put 2/2 zombies into play when the enchanted player gets attacked, encouraging more and more combat. Fraying Sanity and Curse of the Bloody Tome will each attempt to mill important pieces from our opponent's libraries into their graveyards. Curse of Scarabs and Curse of Death's Toll each look to make it difficult for the enchanted player to keep creatures around. We can suit up Lynde or another creature with Helm of the Gods, giving +1/+1 to the equipped creature for each enchantment that we control. Curse of Thirst and Curse of Fool's Wisdom can each slug a ton of damage into the enchanted player. And finally, Curse of Bloodletting will double up damage against the enchanted player. As for lands, the remainder will focus on fixing our colors. Command Tower, Crumbling Necropolis, Exotic Orchard, Forbidden Orchard, Blood Crypt, Demir Aqueduct, Dragon Skull Summit, Drowned Catacomb, Graven Cairns, Is It Boilerworks, Luxury Suite, Morphic Pool, Rakdos Carnarium, Sheevan Reef, Steam Vents, Sulphur Falls, Training Center, and Watery Grave, leaving us room for 6 swamps, 5 islands, and 3 mountains. That about wraps it up for this deck tech. I hope you enjoyed the video. You'll find the link to the full deck list on archadeck.com in the description, complete with a maybe board. Let me know in the comments below if you would take this deck in a different direction, or if there are any key includes that I missed. Cheers, and happy casting.
If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit that like button, and also share it with your friends. If you want to see more videos like these, or hear me ramble about how to navigate this magic multiverse, go ahead and click that subscribe button to stay up to date on the latest from me, Doyle Prime, and the happenings throughout Magic the Gathering. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you all next video.